Good afternoon, family. Good afternoon. You know what time it is. We on the porch. Come on in. Come on in. We are on the porch. Come on in. Come on in. Y'all know we have one rule on the porch, and that's when you come on, you got to greet and you got to share and tag. Let's get people on the porch here with us. We are on the porch. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. We're on the porch. And again, there's my YouTube channel. I ask that you would subscribe and share it to those that can't get on Facebook. But we're on the porch, y'all. Let's get them on the porch. Again, once you come on the porch, we got one rule. You got to let us know that you're on the porch. So say something to me. Let me know you're on the porch with me. We are on the porch. And I really believe we got a great conversation today. And so y'all come on to the porch. Come on in, and let me know that you're on the porch. Come on in to the porch. I'm excited about what's going to be said on the porch. Come on in. I see some of y'all. Come on in to the porch. Let us know that you are on the porch. I got you. Welcome to the porch. Got a classmate on here and cousins on here, and seem like we got Ladesta, Marcella. Glad to have you on the porch. Y'all get them on the porch. Tag as many people as you want to. You know, our thought is, if you tag them, we'll talk to them. So get them on the porch, y'all. Get them on the porch. We have a YouTube channel. You're more than welcome to send that. It's there. We subscribe to it. Make sure you like our ministry page here on Facebook, Kenneth Matt Ministries. Like it. All that good stuff. But y'all come on the porch. Let's tag and share it. As many people. We'll get ready to get started. We are on the porch. It's our prayer that everybody's having a good Thursday. We're on the porch, and some great things happens on the porch. We have some good conversations. So y'all get them on here. Let's tag and share as many people as we can and let them know we're on the porch. We're on the porch. Listen, and yours true definitely want to extend, since we have this space, extend the invitation. Tonight starts the state conference for the Alabama Full Gospel Church Fellowship, and I'm excited. My spiritual father serves as the state bishop, Bishop Jonathan Elwood Sr., and I want to invite you out to Love City. Number one, the state conference is special. It's always a great time when we get together. Number two, if you've never seen the campus of Love City, you need to put your eyes on it. It's something to see. But I'd like to invite each and everyone you join me. I serve as the state director of protocol, so I'm excited to see and just have the opportunity to serve. So wanted to invite everybody out. We'll share the flyer. I already have, but said Love City. But let's get people on here on the porch. Let's tag as many people as we can. Let's share it, and because we're on the porch, y'all, and we're getting ready to jump right on in. I think it's a great conversation that we're gonna have today about being on the porch. When you come on, let me know that you're on the porch with us. Let me know that you're on the porch with us. Let me know you're on the porch. Got a few people on here. Yep, we're getting ready to jump right in. Let's pray. Gracious Father, I thank you, God. I thank you for another opportunity, God, to just having a great conversation with great people. We ask that you would just speak to our hearts, oh Lord, and that you give us what you want us to have, God, that you would hide us behind your cross, God, and that we're able to be a conduit, God, to connect people to you, God, because you are the Savior, you're the Lord, and God, you're all that we need, God. And so we love you. We thank you again for all that you're about to do, will do, God. Cover us all in Jesus' name. Amen. So we're on the porch. Kayla's on the porch. Glad to see you. Hey, Carrie. Thank you for being on the porch. Listen, so today I want to talk a few minutes about letting go, or from the standpoint of why it's so hard to let go. Because I think that one of the, we can say demons, devils, or I just use for the sake of a conversation on porch, one of the biggest hindrance we have is letting go. And I'm not, again, we'll talk about different areas, because I'm not just talking about even relationships. I'm talking about jobs, past seasons, all of it. Why? I mean, what I'm saying? Why is it so hard to just let go? Auntie's on here. Auntie Brenda, love you. Thank you for being on the porch. Chi, I see you. But why is it so hard for us to just let go, to walk away? Isn't that crazy though? Just think about it. We'll walk in the door of relationships since we're here, but just think about it. As hard as some seasons, as some relationships, are to us, sometimes we use the word toxic. As toxic as a relationship is, why is it so hard for us to let it go? Why is it that, when it's painful as being in this relationship is, as I don't know if it's a word, but I'm gonna say it because we're on the porch, is non-beneficial as the relationship is, why is it so hard for us just to walk away from it? You follow what I'm saying? Paul articulates in one of the verses, forgetting those things that are behind us. But why can't we forget those things? Why is it so hard for us to forget the former things? Excuse me, Isaiah says that, forget the former things. I know Paul says in Philippians 2, Isaiah says it too in 43, forgetting the former things. But Paul says it too. But why is it so hard to forget those things? Auntie Vicky, glad to have you on the porch, and Miss Bertha. But why have we ever thought about that? Like, why is it so hard to let go of the past? Because you hear people talking. I'm sure many of us out on the porch, many of us have heard, you hear people talk about how bad somebody is doing them in a relationship. And I'm not just talking about romantic, because that's a conversation too. But I'm talking about relationships in general. It could be friendships. Partnerships. And they talk to you about how bad it is, how non-beneficial it is, and how, people are toxic and how they're draining them, but they go back. Have you ever thought about, they go back? Like, you just sit here and poured out your heart to me, Auntie Vicky, they just poured out how bad the situation is, but they go back. They just told you how abusive, and not necessarily just physical abuse, but verbal abuse, emotional abuse. They sit there and told you, but they go back, or they tell you about all these issues and you give them the answer, and then they still go back. Like, why did you waste my time, or why did you allow me to waste my wisdom if you were going to go back? Talk to me on the porch. Why would you go back? And I get it. One of the main reasons that we do go back into these places is because of emotional attachments, right? It's emotional, it's feelings, and we don't know how to deal with our feelings. We don't know how to overcome our emotional attachments, how to cut that soul tie, stronghold, whatever you want to call it. We don't know how to disconnect from that. And so we tend to want to give in to our feelings in order to fight them, because it's easier that way. Anybody ever had to fight your feelings? We tend to give over, from a spiritual realm, we tend to side with our flesh more than our faith. There it is right there. You know what I mean? We tend to want to go back and relive, you know, we tend to want to regurgitate the same thing over and over, than to understand that there could be better out there. But here's the reality is, you can't move into something new until you move out of something old. And the thing about it is that the problem with sometimes moving out with what we know old is you do have good memories. Am I talking to anybody on the porch? You do have good memories because you've been there for so long. And I've learned too, the reality of it is, for some of us, the reason why we choose to stay into, and I'm moving ahead of myself, but we're here now, we choose to stay in some of these toxic situations, is because we're familiar with the toxicity. And we choose to be in a toxic than to do something we don't know about. So why do you keep going back? Because it's what I know. I know they're gonna talk to me terrible. They're gonna belittle me. They're gonna break me. They're gonna disrespect me. But that's what I know. So maybe the problem with letting go isn't necessarily emotional. It could be that you don't know how valuable you are. And so you continue to devalue you in order to value them. I feel like talking a little bit on the porch. Y'all better get more people on here. And you continue to increase who they are by demeaning who you are. And until you realize who you are, you're going to continue to be connected to the past. Because here's the reality of it is, from a spiritual standpoint, God has he's already removed himself from that. And you keep trying to make it live, and it's never going to live again. And I think for some of us, we'll continue to attach to the, we're attached to potential. We're attached to potential. And the thing about it is, we keep going back hoping that it's something that not what it is. You know, it's almost like when you kids, you open the refrigerator, you know what's in there, but you keep opening it like you're expecting something different gonna be in there. No, baby, this is what it is. What's in there is what's in there. That's how we do relationships. We keep going back to the same one, hoping it's gonna be something different. But the reality of it is, it's not. This is what it is. And I think that we have to, Kyla, love you, girl. We have to take a moment to take an evaluation of, why do I keep wasting good energy on a dead situation? It's like putting gas in a car with no engine. You ain't going nowhere. Can I talk to you on the porch? You're putting gas in a car with no engine. You're not going nowhere. All you're going to do is sit in a broken car. That's it. All you're doing is putting yourself in harm's way. So here's the reality of it is, we talked about this in some of the past conversations, but here is the reality of it is, you're not the victim anymore. You're an accomplice. Yeah, you don't get to play victim at this point, because now you're an accomplice, because you are allowing somebody to hurt you. Why? Because you won't let go. And I get it. It could be another trigger. That reason why you won't let go is because you don't know what's out there. And some of us, we got to be in control. And the reality of it is, going forward is unknown. Going forward put me in a position, watch it here, it puts me in a place to be vulnerable. And I don't like doing it. And see, here is what we don't talk about. When you deal with when you're dealing in that toxic place, toxicity births trauma, and trauma will build an identity for you. It will come in and become a part of you that you never intended to be. And a lot of times we feel like the reason why we won't let go is that's a part of us now. That has become an identity issue for us now. And we have to understand that just because we don't know, it doesn't mean it's not good for us. See, some of us, we, if we really evaluated it, the relationships, because we're just right now, we're in this area, we've lost more than we've gained. We've lost more than we've gained. Like when we put the pen to the paper and we put that line down the middle, and we put one on one side profit and the other side loss. We've lost more than we profit from it. And then sometimes too, we don't realize, and we kind of talked a little bit about this last night, we're in these imaginations, and that sometimes we feel we've convinced ourselves in our minds that we're in control of something that we're not. And we've convinced ourselves sometimes that staying in this situation is better than going to the other situation because I'm in control over it. And we're not in control over anything. That's why we continue to be abused. That's why we continue to feel like nobody cares. We cannot grab hold to what's coming because our hands are full for what needs to leave. Have you ever had your hands full of stuff and you were like, man, I need to get that too. How am I going to get that? That's how some of us are right now in our life. We can't grab hold to what's coming because our hands are full of what needs to leave. And for some of us, it's time for us to wipe our hands, wash our hands over it. It is what it is at this point. Sometimes I've learned that you just have to count your losses and move on. Get over your pride, get over your ego, count your losses, and just move on. And then sometimes the issue is, what about this? That guilt and regret factor. Because we've been in it too long. And we feel like we're regretting being in it too long. So we feel like we just need to stay here now. Like, we have to get to a place where we think more about our life. And that at the end of the day, here's what makes the grace of God so amazing is that you can ask for forgiveness and start new. That you don't have to continue to stay where you are as a result because you put so much time in it. The Bible articulates about the prophet Samuel, how God at one point God knocks on his door and said, hey, look, how long are you going to cry over this? Because this is dead to me. That this story doesn't end in resurrection. This story does not end in, it ain't dead, it was just sleep. No, it's dead. It's over. I'm not putting my hand on this no more. It's done. Like, I'm not, God's telling he's telling the prophet, this is over with. I've been left it. And for some of us, that's what we've got to digest, that it's not going to come back to life. It's over. You keep going back to you keep going back to the same relationship over and over. It's over with. Close the book. because your mindset and their mindset is not going to be congruent. You're not going to be able to connect right now. You just need to walk away from it. Shut the door to it. Like some of us are hiding out in this gray space, this gray area, and it's causing us more to stay there than it would be to go anywhere else. You know what that gray space is? That gray space is a comfort zone, because when you're in that gray space, it doesn't make you make a decision. You get to hide. It's like what people do, it's more prevalent now, which I think is crazy than it's ever been. When people are married and they separate, that's a gray space, because I don't have to make a decision to divorce you, and I don't have to make a decision to go to counseling or figure out what's going on with us. So I'm able to hide in a gray space and just stay there. That's a dangerous space to be in. Because you're setting yourself up to do something that's going to cost you in the long run. And if we're going to be grown, we got to be grown and just deal with the elephant in the room. And see, for some of us, we're trying to give people explanations that don't deserve it. You don't need it. But we've convinced ourselves that I'm just going to tell them this and that's going to be it. That's the lie that you keep telling yourself. It's not. It's never going to be it, because you're going to keep trying to feel like you have to explain. You're going to keep trying to feel like it. Sometimes you don't have to explain. You know, they used to say back in the old days, I can show you better than I can tell you. Why? Because you're never going to stop mishandling me until I start handling me. Can I help you that? People will never stop mishandling you until you start handling you. And when you realize how to handle you and how much you bring to the table, you will cut the ties. You will let the chips fall where they may. Why? Because you don't appreciate me. You don't appreciate my time. You don't appreciate my pour. You don't appreciate my heart. You don't appreciate my sweat. You don't appreciate it. And I'm not going to continue to allow you to walk on me like I'm mud when there's somebody out there that will lift me up like the diamond or the gift that I am. See, that's what's hurting us, that we don't know how to handle us, so we keep allowing people to mishandle us. You got to learn how to handle you. You got to realize that I don't have to stay anywhere and where somebody's continue to trample over me, continue to belittle me, continue to dog me out. I don't have to stay there. That ain't no written rule. There's not enough money in the world for someone to give me to allow them to dismantle me. I mean, for some of us, we don't even know who we are anymore. Because everything we do, everything we like is predicated on what other people think. We have no identity. Because we've given our whole identity. That's not in the book. The Bible doesn't even say give your identity when you get it. No, we become one, but we're one within God. And God given us both identities. That's how we know we're one. But when I've lost myself when I've lost myself and took on somebody else's identity, of course I'm gonna be miserable, because I don't have grace to be nobody else. I don't have the grace to be nobody else. And that's how come sometimes we enjoy that. That's how come sometimes we're miserable, because we're trying to be something we don't have the grace for. You don't have grace to take on nobody else's identity. You have to be who God calls you to be. And if you're with somebody and they're trying to make you become something, you got to look at that. You know, we hold on to old seasons because we feel like it's beneficial to us. Well, you know, even though I know they do me wrong, and you know what I mean, and they don't take me out, and I can't do X, Y, and Z, but you know, when I need gas money, they give me gas. Y'all know how it go. You know, they connected to the right people, so there's a certain status that I have now, but you don't have a status. You don't have a status. Like at some point, that as complex as the process is, we've got to own the fact that we deserve better. Like I'm not going to continue to stay in this place. Like he says in Philippians, forgetting the past and looking forward to what's ahead. I can't look forward because I continue to look back. You know, like I can't enjoy what's for me. Now watch this. Here's the craziest thing. Elder Karen, here's the craziest thing is that for some of us, the right people have came into our lives, but we've fired them because we're hoping that the wrong people will change and become right. That's how toxic. That's where we are now. That's how the trauma has taken over us. People have came into our lives that should be they're God-sent people. But because of the toxicity and the trauma for the last relationships, we've aborted what's for us on potential that what isn't will be for us. Can I go closer? You're so used to chasing after people that you've walked away from people who was chasing after you. You got a man in your life that's taking you out to dinner, that's trying to love you, that's talking about the future of being married. But because you've been in so many toxic relationships, you got scared and aborted it and thought he was crazy. Something wrong with him. He already talking about marriage. We only been on a couple of days. Well, it don't take a real man to know what kind of woman he wants. Can I help you in here? It don't. A real man don't need 7 years to figure out if he gonna marry. He don't need 2 years. The truth of the matter is, he already knows. But you've been in so many toxic relationships, you feel like if they're not cussing you out, if they're not calling you out of their name, if they're not belittling you, if you're not barely making it, if they're not running the streets, then they're not good for you. The devil is a liar. See, that's what we don't talk about. See, we in relationships now, and we've again our imaginations, and we've convinced ourselves that this is how this is supposed to go. No, you don't know a healthy relationship because the last 5 you've been in has been toxic. And your problem is you're trading bodies, but they got the same symptoms. Lord have mercy. I feel like talking on the porch. Y'all need to get people on here. You trading bodies, they got the same symptoms. The bald-headed one cuss you out. The one got braids cuss you out. The one that smell good cuss you out. They got the same symptoms. You go back and trace them. They're the same kind of people. She didn't want nothing but money. The next one didn't want. They got the same symptoms. But you got to understand that. You got to be able to see that. and you running off. But here's the craziest thing, Kayla. But then we get on Facebook, we send subliminal messages, or we tell our girlfriends or homeboys, ain't no good person out there. No, you keep running them away because you don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. You don't know that a real man will give you roses or flowers or your favorite candy, that a real man is going to talk about the future, because a real man don't have time to waste. We ain't going to waste time to keep going out to eat. By now, you ought to been to enough nice restaurants. So we're not going to keep going in cycles about going out to eat and going to the movies. No, we need to talk that talk. We need to see where it's going, because if it ain't going nowhere, you need to go your way and I need to go mine, because I got plans. A real woman wants to know that you're working towards something. No, she don't want your money, but she want to know you're working towards something. That if she's going to submit to you at some point, she's got to know that you're submit worthy. Because let me help some of you. We suggested this, I think, the last porch. You got to be able to know they're submitted worthy before you say I do. You don't get to say I do and then question, well, why should I submit to you? No, you need to know that before you say I do. That's why we've got to let go of these toxic ways, these relationships, these seasons that we keep trying to hang on to. Let them go. You're missing out on the best thing for you, trying to hold on to what's killing you. You ain't got to worry about the devil. You got to worry about you. You doing more hurt to you than the enemy is, because you don't see it. It's not. There's some things that we deem to be normal that's not. It's trauma. Let me tell you something. I've been married 17 years. I've never called that woman out of her name. I don't cuss. I've never cussed her out. I don't have to go down that road. That ain't normal to be cussed out. That ain't normal. She doesn't call me every waking moment trying to control where. That's not normal. That's narcissistic behavior. That's somebody's trying to manipulate and control you. See, we got to pay attention to these things, and that's why we got to learn how to cut them off, because they are infecting too many areas of our lives, and we've given too much of us to that. And to the point, again, we don't even know where to start to find who we are. We don't know where to start it. Why? Because we keep holding on to it. We keep holding on to the past. We keep holding on to the past. We keep holding on to toxicity. We keep holding on to this manipulation. We keep holding on to this witchcraft. And we think it's normal. I'm telling you, it's not normal. But the issue still remains, Jazz, that we've dealt with this so long that dysfunction has become functional to us. And we've called dysfunction functional. No, you're in a dysfunctional situation. You gotta quit. You gotta quit. You gotta quit allowing. Listen to me. You gotta quit allowing people to drop you, and then they show back up like nothing's ever wrong, and you just go along with your crazy self. I said it. With your crazy self, you just go along with it like everything is everything. The devil is a liar. Me loving you and you having access to my personal space is two different ball games. See, that's what dysfunctional look like when people can drop you and then they show back up and you just treat them like they never left. That's dysfunctional. When this man done cussed you out from A to Z and you still beating yourself down. Well, maybe it was just me. That's dysfunctional. That's what I'm saying. These are the things that we've got to let go of. And we've got to quit telling ourselves, well, it's okay. You're going to be all right. No, it's not okay. It's not. And you're not going to be all right because you don't even know who you are to be all right. You don't even know who you are to be all right. So you can't say it's all right. You are become a zombie. You don't even know what it's like to live your life because you don't even know what your life is anymore. You're just going through the day after day. You just know what the day is. Like, that's toxic behavior. And then some of us are like, we get so set in our ways. Let me go here and I'm going to let y'all go. But we get so set in our ways and we say, this is just it. You're going to have to take me as I am. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. See, some of us we've got to tell ourselves that I don't have to buy into dysfunctional. I don't have to buy into that. I don't have to invite trauma or I don't have to invite toxicity in my life. I don't have to invite that in. No, I don't. Nope. It ain't for me. Find somebody else. And see, I think too, sometimes we can kill a lot of stuff if we would nip it at the butt at the beginning. If we would kill it at the beginning and have grown folks conversations. I was just sharing with one of my daughters this morning. The reality of the fact is that sometimes our conversations are too surface. We need to get to the root of this. No, I don't care if that means we're going to cry, we're going to get emotional, but we need to get to the root of this because what can't happen is this thing can't keep living because this is going to destroy us. So we need to deal with it. Let's just deal with it. And see, we keep avoiding conversations like that and we deem them, I ain't got time for that. It just is what it is. No, it's not. It's not. We either got to deal with it or you're going to go your way and I'm going to go mine. But what we're not going to do is continue to live in a dysfunctional place. I shouldn't be in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, it's a romantic relationship, it's a business relationship, and every time I leave, I got all-time high in anxiety. My anxiety is to the roof, and I'm just drained, and or before I go to see you, I got to pray in the car to get peace in my mind because I already know this is always it's like World War III when I'm no. I'm not doing it. No, I'm not. No. This is supposed to be a friendship. No, I'm not. If I've got to pray every time I'm in your prison, we got to have some serious conversations. And listen, and let me tell you something. For some of you that are single parents, If you got to be in a relationship and you got to tell your children to not say anything, that's a sign. And that's why I'm talking to single parents at this point. That's why you got to be careful and you got to use wisdom and be slowful before on the time it's right to introduce your children to whoever else you're in a relationship, be it friendship or boyfriend girlfriend status. You need to be slowful about that. You need to protect the peace of, if you don't even protect yourself, you need to protect the peace of your children. Especially those single mothers and you got girls, because what you're teaching your daughter is what's okay and not. And if your daughter see you being mistreated or they see you not have a voice, that's what they're going to deem to be functional. And that's what they're going to look for when they grow up. A lot of times, the patterns that our kids take on when they're older is due to what's been sold into them when they were younger. This is what they seen. That's why I will say this is Methodology 101. I'm not saying it's Bible. I'm not saying nothing. I'm saying from my perspective that sometimes it's good for your children to see you in a disagreement because they need to know what a healthy disagreement is. And see, we wonder why when our daughters get old, they start dating these toxic men and stuff, because these are the traits that they seen. And then I might as well say it to some of my brothers that are on here watching, you ought to be careful how you treat somebody else's daughters, because you don't get the right to get mad because somebody dropped your daughter like a bad habit when you've been dropping other folks' daughters like that. Hello, church. You know, some of us mothers, we need to keep our mouth shut because we were dating men that was out there about that life. They was in the streets. That's who we kept bringing in and out of the house. So that's what our children are aware of. That's why our sons turn into dope boys, and that's why our daughters decide to marry them, because that's what they seen. That's what we put them around. That was their community. And now we're upset because this is the harvest we having to reap. The devil is a liar. That's why we got to let certain things go, because we don't know what seeds we're putting in the ground, and we don't know what we're going to have to deal with later. Your children are not idiots. They're sponges, and they soak up everything. You know, here you are in your 40s, and you still trying to act like you a doggone teenager. The devil is a liar. See, these are the true conversations that we need to have, because we don't understand what this toxicity, us holding on to expired season, is costing us. It's costing us the next season. You got a David waiting on you, but you can't get to David because you're trying to deal and cry over the trauma that Saul caused you and wanted him back. The devil is a liar. We got to heal. That means if we got to go to therapy, go to therapy. If you got to go to a park and cry it out, go cry it out. But what you can't do is stay in a situation that you are in dysfunction. Or here's the other side of it. If that's where you want to be, that's fine. It's your life. It's your prerogative. You get to be there, but you can't play victim. You can't keep getting on social media talking about war is me. No, it's over with. Just deal with it. And when somebody asks you, say, hey, I just decided to be here. I decided to be in the trauma. I decided to just keep dealing with this kind of abuse. I decided, that I'm going to continue to live in the old season. I know God ain't in it, but this is what I want to be. Own it. But for some of us, our hindrance is because we won't let go. And we don't realize that we're one decision away. You letting go is going to give you access to everything that you desire, but you got to let go. It's cost you too much. You're in pieces as we speak. You're in shambles as we speak. People have told you time and time again, you're a whole different person. Not because you done mature, because you're that broken. You know, they've told you, I remember when you used to be creative and you were innovative and you were this and you were that. Now all you do is work and go home and sit in a dark room. Why? Because you're that broken. That's why. It's time now for you to heal and move on. You can't even recognize your own self anymore. I mean, for some of us, we're so bad, it's something simple. Like people asking you, what color you like, blue or black? You won't even choose your own color. You're going to go with what somebody else say because you don't have any idea. Like when do we decide? When do we decide to take us back? Like I need to take me back. This ain't it. I done lost me somewhere. I got to figure this out. This ain't it. Like this ain't it. I got to go and find me. I've got to go and figure where I done left me at somewhere. Because this ain't it. I ain't never been this person to want to sit in a dark room all day, not talk to anybody, be isolated. I've never been this person to allow somebody to continue to mistreat me and drop me. I've never been this person to feel like the whole world is against me and it's just me. I've never been this person. I got to clear the clutter out now. I got to deal with it, let it go, heal from it so I can move forward. Because you can't move forward going backwards. You can't move forward going backwards. Impossible. So listen, once again, I appreciate everybody that was on the porch. Thank you so much for taking time out to join us on the porch. I enjoy you guys, and I'm in works of improving our porch conversation, and so I appreciate all that everybody's on the porch. Listen, make sure you share this, invite as many people as you can to join us. We're here every Thursday. We're on the porch every Thursday at noon. We're on the porch. Invite somebody, tell them to listen in. They can chime in. I'll read y'all comments and I appreciate them. Thank you so much. Tell them to chime in. Talk to us on the porch. We have good conversations. So invite, share. And last thing is, again, the state conference, Full Gospel State Conference starts tonight. It's at Love City in Fultondale. State Bishop is Bishop Jonathan L. Wood Sr. I want to invite everybody to come on out. It starts at 6:30. We have something in place for our children, for our teens. We got something for everybody. So bring everybody. We want everybody to be blessed and bring everybody. So I love y'all. I'm praying for you. I'll see you same time next week, same time on the porch. Have an amazing day.